Hello everybody, welcome back to the studio. My name is Justin, and in this video I'm going to show you why this tool is the source of all your problems. So whenever we're starting out in leatherwork, we're always going to probably get the cheapest tools we can to get started, because you don't know if it's a hobby you're going to keep doing, you're not sure if you're going to like it, and you don't want to spend a ton of money on it and then not continue with it. So you jump on Amazon, you get yourself a nice little set of stitching chisels, and you go to town. You continue on, you get a little bit better, but you don't think that progress is quite keeping up to where it should be. This tool is causing those problems. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I think that's the case. So 5mm diamond stitching chisels versus 5mm Japanese stitching chisels. Now, before you get after me in the comments, I know they're 2 different tooth profiles, but I can't get a cheap version of Japanese stitching chisels, and I can't find an expensive version that's as expensive as these in the diamond stitching chisels. Stitching chisels, pricking irons? I'm going to say a whole bunch of different versions of stitching chisels, stitching irons, pricking irons. It's all the same. Let's get a step here. Reason number 1 why your stitching chisels are holding you back. The build consistency of the cheap ones is not consistent. What you're gonna get with this is a CNC, I think it's a CNC product, a milled, I don't know how they make this thing, but the tooth spacing on this is not as consistent as these ones. The manufacturing process also means that these teeth don't form a perfectly straight line. If I eye down this, I can see the teeth slightly waver. With my Japanese style ones, it is laser straight. For the record, these are from Crimson Tools, Crimson Hides. These things are amazing. I love them. So the build consistency and quality, how does that matter, right? It's ultimately just making holes, but it's not making straight holes. So when you eye down your project, you can see the holes kind of jump back and forth a little bit, or one tooth goes out a little bit more than the rest. It's going to be different with each one of these. That dramatically impacts how clean your stitching looks at the end. I'm going to post up some side-by-side of the example stitch that I did, so you can kind of see how the result of both of them. Now, in person, the difference is really obvious. It's kind of difficult to capture the nuance on film, but trust me when I point out there's a big difference between these 2 stitch lines. Point number 2 with why your cheap Amazon chisels are holding you back is the tooth geometry. I mentioned it earlier. The tooth geometry on a more expensive set, like these Japanese style ones, is perfectly uniform, which means every single tooth is the exact same profile. On the cheaper sets, those tooth profiles may not be exactly the same because of how it's made. Each tip of the tooth isn't exactly the same as the one before it. And if you've gone down the rabbit hole of stitching, you know that tooth geometry has a huge impact on the stitch appearance, from French irons down to round dent irons, probably the most extreme. Huge difference on the end result of how your stitch is going to look. So when you have something like this that makes a diamond, a rough diamond shape, it's really not hitting any good geometry. It's not nearly as slanted as the French irons, which are nice and refined and elegant. It's not as clean as the round dent irons, which are super straight, 2mm wide holes, perfect straight line. These are just kind of a diamond shape that's kind of roughly punched in a straight line. So just the geometry has a huge impact with the end result in the stitching, and this just doesn't really do anything to help that. If a tool is easy to use, you're going to use it more. So if a tool is bulky, awkward, it's got sharp edges, and it's uncomfortable to use because it hurts your hands, it's not easy to use, which means you're not going to enjoy the process of using it, which means you're going to get frustrated, which means your results aren't going to be as clean as if you're using a tool that's comfortable to use. And tools like this that have sharp edges, squared off, no rounding over, no finishing, they're not comfortable to use at all. And when you hammer these down and the teeth are rough, they're not polished, it takes a hell of a lot of work to actually remove this from the leather. Versus a tool like this that has super polished teeth, nice rounded edges, it's comfortable to use in the hand, it holds nicely, it's balanced. When you hit this through the leather, it pops right out, it doesn't get stuck. This is a comfortable tool to use. And a comfortable tool is going to result in better work. It's just how it is. So which stitching chisels do I recommend? Well, that's up to you and the style of work that you want to do. I have a video linked up here that's talking about stitch spacing that you can check out. That will help determine which stitch spacing you want to use. But in terms of comparing the different styles of stitching chisels, I don't have all the different styles, so I can't do that direct comparison, but I can tell you which ones I use. So for my French irons, my stitch spacing is 3.38, and I use the ones from Pro Atelier Plus. These, I believe, are the same ones that Junlin Leather sells, except he hand polishes these. So if you really like these ones, I suggest you go and check out his website. I have linked them down below, and go check those out. I love these irons. They're great. They're very comfortable, and they produce a very clean, consistent stitch. I use this for all my finer work. For all my coarser work, I use 5mm Japanese style pricking irons. These ones are from Crimson Hides, linked below as well. You also have your round dent irons that I see mostly from Cinnabrox. I have Cinnabrox. These are my first chisels that I actually ever bought. These ones are 3mm French irons, which I don't use much anymore because 3mm is pretty fine. I actually prefer 3.38, but Cinnabrox sells the round dent ones, which are very cool. I don't have those, but if you want to go for those, go try those out. I personally like the French irons and the Japanese style tooths. I think these tooth profiles are going to cover your bases for any type of work that you are doing now or would like to do in the future. You got this one for your more coarse work, but still has a slant on it, as you've seen in the sample. But then you have French style irons, which are much more delicate and still have that slant. If you don't want a slant, probably go for the round dent, or if you can find some really nice high quality diamond pricking irons, stitching chisels. So jump down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this. Do your chisels hold you back? Do you want to upgrade them? What are you thinking about upgrading to? Or do you think this is all hogwash and I'm just blaming the tool when it's really just the user's problem? Another thing I want to mention, if you want to support the channel and support the work that I'm doing here, you can hit the join button below. I've got 3 different levels of memberships that you can sign up for. Click there if you want to know all the details. Also, check out my website, norfolkhandmade.com/resources. I am compiling a list of all the leather suppliers across the world. That's an exaggeration. All the leather suppliers that kind of pertain to the work that we tend to do here. Small leather goods, wallets, keychains, bags, that kind of stuff. norfolkhandmade.com/resources. There's a huge list of suppliers there. If you're looking for a new supplier or some alternative suppliers to the ones you use regularly, go to that webpage, check it out, and click the link up here, somewhere up here, or down below in the description to watch my video talking about leather suppliers. Comment there and let me know which ones I have not mentioned and aren't on the website, and I'll add them. One more thing, let me know what style of video you prefer. Do you prefer project-based ones or ones like this that are kind of covering just general topics, talking to the camera, there's no leather work, just me talking, B-roll? What style do you prefer? From the behind the scenes perspective, this can actually be a lot easier and faster for me to film because I don't have to actually make a project. I still have to have a script ready, but some people really like the project-based videos. Usually I have plans with it. They're either free or paid. If you join as a member for tier 2, you get those plans that are normally charged for free, just as an FYI. So let me know which format you prefer, if you like a mix of it, if you like one over the other. The channel's growing. I want to make sure I'm providing content that is valuable to all of you watching. So let me know what you think. Comment below. We'll see you in the next one.